some weed. This is not a fed in here, this is madness. This is not the kind of jam where you stand like a trippy begging for
47:13 moving up to 7 o'clock. Don't forget we have a newscast coming up at 7 with Stacey and Providence, and this coming Sunday on Political Capital starting at 11 a.m. this Sunday. We'll be focusing more on the Ebola virus and Trinidad Tobago and the region's preparedness, especially in light of the heads of CARICOM heads of government meeting held in Trinidad Tobago to get that 10-point plan that was announced, and also the chikungunya virus and the other illnesses in Trinidad Tobago, which have been quite pervasive in the past couple of weeks. In this segment, we'll be going on to more issues of health. And the Gatorade Sports Science Institute has a long history of sports science research, education, and testing athletes to help them get the most out of their bodies. The Gatorade Exercise Physiology Lab was established in 1985 by Dr. Robert Murray as part of the Quaker News R&D family in Barrington, Illinois. In this segment, we're focusing on this institute and how it and Gatorade have come together to help our athletes in Trinidad Tobago maximize their potential. Our guests, Mr. Pedro Garcia, who is the scientific advisor, Gatorade Sports Science Institute, and also James Robinson, who is the marketing manager, International Brands Division with Vemco Limited locally. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let me start with you, Mr. Robinson, and Gatorade's local involvement in getting persons like Mr. Garcia to come to Trinidad Tobago and getting our athletes to benefit from these kinds of exposures.
Sure. Well, you know, the Gatorade brand is all about ensuring that athletes perform at their peak. We're interested in the well-being of our athletes. Over the years, we've supported all sorts of sports here in Trinidad and Tobago at all levels, grassroots levels, all the way up to elite competition. And so this symposium is just another opportunity for us to do that. We wanted to bring in some of the experts from the Gatorade Sports Science Institute to share with athletes here in Trinidad some of their knowledge and their expertise, so as to help those athletes and coaches to go back and really improve on their performances.
Mr. Garcia, sitting as a scientific advisor at Gatorade Sports Science Institute, you would have come into contact with several hundred athletes around the world. How important and how much of a difference do you see with the application of science to sport, especially when you have these kinds of seminars and you have sometimes amateur athletes, professional athletes, and the difference it makes in either of their regimens moving forward in their careers?
I mean, the impact of applying science to performance is very, very useful for athletes. In fact, we've been studying many high athletes at different levels in the worldwide, especially in soccer athletes, basketball athletes. So, and the main goal is to understand what the needs are. And what we pretend to do with these seminars that are being produced around different countries on the world, and mainly in Latin America, there is my region, is try to deliver this information that we discovered during our research to the athletes. So that's why the topics of our conference for this event is called the Science and Practice, because you can do too many things with science if you don't apply that to athletes. So that's the main important reason of these activities.
When you going through the research and working with athletes, what sort of a scientific assessments do you do from the very start? Because I guess you want a reference point, and then when you complete working with them and change their nutrition and their application of science, you can see from the baseline establishment the changes in their bodies. Is that also part of it from a microbiotic level in terms of what happens at the cellular level sometimes with nutrition changes?
Sure, but mainly our focus would be on hydration, mainly try to understand the amount of fluid that lost during training. Recommended there the specific amount of drink they have to do to replace fluid, to replace electrolytes. So we have been finding interesting things like some people that used to have cramps tend to lose more salt, more sodium in their sweat. So we use different strategy with those athletes. And that is an example of a small application that make a huge impact on performance. So another aspect is when you start sweating and dehydrating, you start losing fluids, and the amount of fluids that you lost affect your performance. So understand how much you sweat and understand how much you have to drink during exercise helps you a lot to improve your performance, or even, if not your performance, to make exercise safer.
Richard Thompson, TNT's 2008 Olympic silver medalist in 100 meters, is a specially invited speaker at the upcoming symposium, Mr. Robinson. Let's talk about how you're working with him. He's considered an elite athlete in Trinidad and Tobago, but certainly his experience can help thousands of other amateur and professional athletes in TNT.
Sure. Well, our partnership with Richard is really for this event. You know, we work with a range of athletes here in Trinidad and Tobago. So, you know, our hope is that we can continue to work with him going forward. He will be there to speak about his experience as an elite athlete. And as you said, I'm sure that, you know, what he's going to share with the audience is going to really help them and inspire them and help them understand, you know, what it takes to perform at your best.
Mr. Garcia, who is the target here? Is it athletes, coaches, administrators, etc.? Is that the gamut of your target audience?
Yes, we usually try to involve every people around sports, so everybody usually have an impact on the final performance of athletes. So it's good to have involved different coaches and administrators or physical therapists or trainers. All the people around sports is people that is the target of the Gatorade Sports Science Institute.
And how long would you say, how young would you say is your target? What's your demographic age? Because younger bodies need different kinds of nutrition to teenage bodies. Like a 7-year-old would be different to a 16-year-old would be different to a 23-year-old. Are there different approaches taken with different age demographics?
Yeah, but mainly the difference our market, in terms of nutrition, is focused on the amount of energy they need for different age stage. Under poverty, the amount of sweat you produce is much less than when you are after poverty. So that makes that the biggest difference. But I think the sports is a huge opportunity to young people understand the best way to have better nutrition. And probably you won't be an Olympic athlete, but if you make sports, you have the chance to be related with more best habits of nutrition. So it's a good opportunity for people to learn more about nutrition. And that's why we try to open our arms to receive many different athletes in many different
So I guess the overall message is healthy lifestyles. As opposed to just for sports or elite athletes, especially with the obesity epidemic we're seeing in several countries of the world. Is that also part of why you're doing this? Because we're seeing so many populations around the world sedentary, younger kids presenting with obesity, and taking on these kinds of symposia and lifestyle changes can help everyone, not only sportsmen and women, lead healthier lives.
Sure, definitely make an impact of people. So I mean there's a synergy between physical activity, and when you start making physical activity, you start looking for a better choice to have a better nutrition. That mix is a wonderful thing. So we have been in many different congresses related to promotion of physical activity for everybody, and congress or courses or workshops related with the top athletes. So we try to mix both things. I think it's an opportunity to tell people the best way to have a better life and to stay healthy.
Generally, not only for sportsmen, but all the sports should be part of everyone's life. And Mr. Robinson, when and where is the symposium?
It's taking place tomorrow at the UE Spec facility in St. Augustine. It starts at 9 a.m. It's going to be pretty much for the entire day, finishing about 4:30. We have five speakers. Pedro, who's from the Gatorade Sports Science Institute. We also have another gentleman from the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, Matthew Pankey. And then we have 3 local presenters. Gregory Seal, who's a corrective exercise specialist, well known for his strength training and sport conditioning. We have Carla Rausio, a doctor of physical therapy. And as you mentioned earlier, we have Richard Thompson coming in as well. So,
and in addition to the speakers, what's the format going to be? Just interaction, speakers, and Q&A?
Sure. Yeah. There's going to be each of those presenters are going to do a short presentation to the audience, and we're going to have some question and answer sessions periodically throughout the day.
And anyone can just come. Or should you register?
Yes, it is by invite only. So we are pretty much already filled, but there are some spaces left over. So if anyone is interested in attending, they can contact contact me. I can give...
Quick number.
Yeah, 473-8103.
473-8103.
Sure.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. Much success with the symposium tomorrow.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming. And we've been talking to Pedro Garcia and James Robinson. The forum takes place tomorrow at Due Respect from 9 in the morning. Stay tuned. News is next with Stacey and Providence right here. This is Good Morning TNT.
Every day, we deliver the facts. From politics to music, intellectual talk, and news. We are Talk City 91.1 FM. Decisive and to the point. Standing strong and staying.
7:26 coming up towards 7:27 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, from illusions and magic, let's go to what might be illusions and magic for some people as well, the science of sport, the science and the practice of running. That'll be the theme for the first ever Gatorade Sports Science Institute Symposium in Trinidad and Tobago. The GSSI tours the world hosting symposia where experts provide information on sports science, sports nutrition, and other relevant topics. The event is being held tomorrow at UWISPEC in St. Augustine and will focus on all aspects of running, with specially invited speaker Richard Thompson. Most appropriately, he knows how to run a little bit as a double silver medalist for Trinidad and Tobago in the sprints and the sprint relays. GSSI sports scientist Jose Canovas is here with us, along with VEMCO Director of International Brands, Mark Mute. Very good morning to you both. Good to have you here on the program. And I promise I won't ask you anything about cricket, because from San Juan, Puerto Rico, the only crickets you know are the insects.
Yes, that's correct. The cookies, you know.
Exactly. But before we bring you in, Senator Canovas, Mark, tell us, what is this event and why have you all decided to bring this event to Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, essentially, Gatorade Sports Science Institute is where all the science and practice behind sports nutrition in general and wellness is developed. There's a lot of science behind the brand, and essentially we wanted to bring an opportunity to Trinidad and Tobago where professionals can come together and discuss and speak on the topic of sports nutrition specific to running, because running is probably the most fundamental and basic of all forms of exercise, and it's a discipline that's required for almost anything we do.
Sure. So, Senor Canovas, you're going to be among a number of speakers who will be involved at the symposium. What aspect, what area of the science and the practice of running that you will be focused on?
Okay. First of all, I want to clear. I'm not a scientist. Okay. I work for the brand. My actual position is I'm a professional in sports marketing regional manager for the Caribbean, and within my job description, where I'm in charge within the region to do these type of activities all over. We've done in Dominican Republic, we've done in Puerto Rico, we've done, this is our first here in Trinidad and Tobago. We're planning to be in Jamaica in 2015. And the Gatorade Sports Science Institute has been so kind to provide their resources for this activity here. Okay, this is a GSSI activity, and we're focusing on bringing knowledge within a sports science aspect. And we'll be, we have four scientists and doctors that will be elaborating in different themes, like in sports nutrition, and performance, and injuries, key injuries for runners, and how to rehab. One of the, I don't want to get too into it, but in using aquatics for rehab, and the proper training for injured runners, which that's part of their game, no?
Yeah. You may not be a sports scientist, but because you're involved with a brand that seems to emphasize a lot on the science and all that is associated with the cutting edge level of sport. How valuable do you think the information will be? Because people are always looking for that extra edge, that extra bit of information that will help them develop into a better runner, a faster runner, a greater endurance, whatever it might be. How valuable do you think the information will be?
This is key. This is vital. The science brings your training to another level. There are so many aspects within the science that people just think that part of their training is put on your sneakers and go out and run a 5K or 10K. It's much more than that. You know, you have to prepare in everything in life to win. So, and it's not just about winning, but there are a lot of people out there, not only elite athletes, but a lot of people that want to learn how to run. And you have to learn the proper way. You have to have some knowledge in order to learn how to run, because it's not that easy, you know. I used to be a runner in my days also, so the Gatorade Sports Science Institute provides that knowledge. There's a link. It's GSSI.org. I would suggest to everybody to get in and see what the GSSI is all about. The testing of the athletes, the different phases of the testing, and the different types of testing that's been done to the most elite athletes in the world. But also because not everybody is an elite runner, but there's also vital information for all these people that are really wanting to run and don't know anything, because there's a lot of people out there that are, they say they're trainers and they know how to train people, and you know, you have to be careful about this. You know, there's a lot of coaches outside, but you know, make sure to the public, this is for the public, you know, that the people that are coaching you or that are giving you instruction, they really know about the science, about the sport.
Yeah, because it's often said that bad coaching is worse than no coaching at all.
It is.
In some respects.
It is.
And Mark Mutte, let's talk a bit about what is going to be taking place tomorrow. Is it an all-day event?
It's an all-day event. It's tomorrow at the URespect facility. Begins at 9 and probably will go until 4:30. And the audience is exactly that: coaches, trainers, therapists, people and professionals in the field, who then in turn will impart the knowledge and shared learnings of tomorrow's activity.
And of course, we're talking about a brand as well. Gatorade is very popular all over the world. Everybody wants to drink Gatorade and be suddenly like LeBron James and so on. And Gatorade, everybody knows about the dumping the Gatorade on the winning Super Bowl coach and all.
Sure. And Richard Thompson also.
and Richard Thompson as well. It's about... Is it something that you know, with all these famous athletes, that you're promising something that may not be attainable, that they may not be able to achieve, that even with all the sports science in the world, you may not be able to reach that level?
Well, yeah, that's true. It all depends on the dedication that you put into the hours, the work. Life is, in whatever profession you are, if you don't dedicate the hours and the hard work, well, you're only going to reach a certain level. That's why I said before that, you know, not everybody is. This is our audience for tomorrow are going to be key influencers within the running community and sports community, but people that are just want to learn how to run and what it takes. I think the GSSI provides that knowledge, and it's a tool for people to have and really to reach their expectations. You know?
And Mark, before we conclude, after this event, anything more that people can look forward to in relation to maybe follow-ups, or are you going to assess how it went to determine if you might want to have another one, something like that?
Just that fast. This is supposed to be this is the first in the English-speaking Caribbean, and we look forward to a successful event and look forward to continuing this. I mean, Gatorade, we're very active on the ground here in Trinidad and Tobago. Household name, we're part and parcel of everybody's sporting activity and physical activity. And we're committed and continue to do that.
All right, well, let's hope that
we guarantee that. We guarantee that.
You guarantee it?
Oh, yes. In 2015, we will be doing something else within symposiums. There are a lot of sports, and people have come to us asking for this type of events because there's a basic lack of knowledge, and a lack of these type of events in which people can get something out in the development of their personal careers and performance as athletes. So the Gatorade Sports Science is committed worldwide to provide this important tool for everyone. So again, I repeat, please go into GSSI.org and you'll see in details and there's a whole bunch of sections in which there's themes, different themes, in which something has to be related to you, or something can answer a question for you.
Sure. Well, the more time you spend in the English-speaking Caribbean, the more time you learn about cricket for you to learn. Although it really doesn't matter these days. We seem to spend more time walking off the field and suing one another than
yeah.
So that play cricket.
That happens in every sport now, you know.
We take it to another level.
We take it to another level.
You take it to another level.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do things like go to India to play a series, and then you walk off the field halfway through and face.
I've been to a couple of games, you know. I'm still a little lost, but I've seen a couple of games, and
you're not. People who know the game are still lost. So let's take a break now. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for coming in this morning, and we'll continue right after this.
Try the new Vitamalt Plus with acai for mental sharpness, guarana for physical energy, and aloe vera for a stronger immune system. Vitamalt. Take
as well. Welcome back to the Morning Brew Trinidad and Tobago and our final half hour of the show. Now here on set we have Mr. Pedro Garcia from the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, and we have Mr. James Robertson, the marketing manager at Vemco Limited, and they're here to talk about the JSSI, that's the Gatorade Sports Science Institute symposium that's taking place tomorrow at the University of the West Indies Sports. I can't remember. It's called SPEC, and I really sometimes forget it's Sports and Physical Education Center. That's it right there. Yeah. So now I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, Mr. Garcia, you're really, as I was told before, you're the science man behind the symposium tomorrow. Now, when I play football, I have to have my bottle of Gatorade with me. Of course, my favorite flavor being the fruit punch. I think that's the one that sells out when you go to the parlor. That's the one that sells first. You know, they always run out of the fruit punch first, but. Now tell us, what's the, I mean, GSSI is an institute there that really focuses on sports science and on the science of keeping your body hydrated well, the science of nutrition. And you all have been around for what 3 decades?
Yeah, we've been, I mean, Gatorade was designed in 1960, at the end of the 60s, by Dr. Robert Cade. He was a nephrologist that worked with the Gator teams at the University of Florida. Since then, we've been publishing many different research, and in 1995, 1998, the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, as we know now, was founded by Dr. Robert Murray. So since then, we've been, I mean, related and connected with science. Our goal is to try to help people to perform better, or to have more, to be healthier through education and research about exercise science.
And you all work with some very, very popular athletes as well, be it in basketball and whatnot, and I understand even in Trinidad and Tobago athletics and some of our sprinters as well. Sure. I mean, really, how does hydration really affect your game? How much more you can get if you properly hydrate yourself before the action starts? Yep.
Well, it impacts performance in many different aspects. The main thing that people must have in mind is when you sweat, you lost something from your body that is affecting your performance. I mean, your heart rate is going to increase, your perception effort is going to increase too, your body temperature is increasing. So all these physiological aspects affect your performance. Even when you are doing mental concentration, I mean, that abilities are reduced when you are dehydrated. So being well hydrated during exercise is the most easy thing to keep performance on the top.
All right, Mr. Robertson, let's talk about the symposium itself. What's going to happen tomorrow? For those who are invited, what are they going to be exposed to tomorrow?
Sure, we have, it's at the UESPEC facility, as you mentioned. It starts at 9 a.m. We have 5 presenters, 2 of which are from the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, Pedro, and we have another gentleman, Matthew Pankey. We also have 3 local presenters, Gregory Seal, who is all about sports performance and physical training. We have Carla Rausio, who's a doctor of physical therapy, and we also have a specially invited guest in Richard Thompson. You know, who everyone knows as one of the most successful athletes in our Olympic history. So these 5 people are going to be presenting to the audience on sports, nutrition, and hydration.
Have they all benefited from the GISL?
Benefited in what way?
Have they been one of the persons that they would do the tests on when they're doing the hydration tests and on?
Well, the 2 presenters from GSSI obviously are well equipped in terms of the science and the nutrition and all the techniques from the GSSI. The 2 local presenters have not had any previous workings with the GSSI, and Richard Thompson himself has not had any previous workings, but all of the presenters obviously are going to add a lot of value to the event and share with the audience things that are going to be useful to them.
All right, and why do you think, I mean, that people, I know the theme of this year is running. Now, you know, Trinidad and Tobago has done very well for itself in athletics, especially at the Olympic Games. But what would you say to those up and comers who may benefit from this symposium? I mean, again, we're coming back to sports science here. Sports science has really taken off. You know, it's not just what you can do during the game, but it's the preparation now for that game. The preparation is really what separates gold from silver. What would you say to these young runners, especially we're talking about hydration and nutrition here?
Well, I think most of the people that are going to the event, the people that receive that information will benefit from understanding the science of Sweden. And we try to do with this course is to combine the scientific aspects of research with applied to everyday aspect of the training. So if you think, for example, there are now 100-meter competition that takes less than 10 seconds. So you just run 10 seconds at the competition, but the preparation takes years. So the daily habit of nutrition and hydration and preparation during all these years are really, really important. So what we're trying to do is translate that scientific jargon to the athletes. We invite some huge athletes like the one we have at the event, so they present the personal perspective and try to bring this perspective to young athletes, so they can think only that they can take that level of athletes. So that is an inspirational event too.
Well, Mr. Robertson, as we close, just reiterate the time and place tomorrow.
Sure, it's UWSPEC facility, which is in St. Augustine. It starts at 9 a.m. We do have some spaces still available, so if anyone is interested, they can give me a call at 473-8103, and we can discuss giving them an invite to attend tomorrow. And
dress code, business casual?
Yes.
All right. All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. That's representatives for the Gatorade Sports Science Symposium tomorrow at UWSPEC, and he's saying that there's still a couple of spaces. Just give us that number one more time, Mr. Robertson.
473-8103.
473-8103 if you're interested in that. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Up next, we have the members from the Jab Molasses production, so stay tuned.